The old house had been abandoned for so long that the paint was literally peeling off of it. It looked like it was about to collapse at any moment, and in fact, one night it did. The entire structure went up in flames and burned to the ground. The fire department came. They put out the fire, but they couldn't save it. The house was already in such poor condition. There was nothing left to do but watch it burn. Now, whenever something like this happens, the local townspeople will often hold an event. They'll gather around the remains of the building and use heavy machinery to tear it down. But for this house, they didn't have to do anything. The fire consumed every last bit of the structure, leaving only a pile of rubble and charred wood in its place. Years passed and the lot remained empty until one night when the townspeople noticed something strange. They were driving home from work and they saw the flickering of lights in the distance. At first, they assumed it was a nearby street lamp, but as they got closer, they realized it was coming from inside the abandoned house. The windows were glowing with a soft yellow light, and there was even steam rising from the chimney. When they reported this to the authorities, an investigation was launched, but nothing out of the ordinary could be found. One day, someone even checked the electric meter and found that it was completely disconnected. There was no way power could be running to the house, yet the lights were still on every night. Then one day, one of the braver townspeople decided to investigate further. He crept through the darkness towards the house, trying his best to remain quiet so as not to be detected. As he neared the front door, he heard what sounded like whispers coming from inside. He quickly hid behind a bush and waited for whatever was inside to come out. After what felt like hours, the front door slowly opened, and a figure emerged. The man was so startled, he nearly jumped out of his skin. He had never seen anyone enter or exit the house before, let alone alive. He watched as the figure walked into the darkness and disappeared. Determined to uncover the truth, the man followed. He trailed behind the mysterious figure until they reached the edge of town. Then the man did something that shocked him, turned around and walked back towards the house. As the days passed, more and more townspeople began to see the mysterious figure. Some said it was the ghost of the former owner, while others claimed it was the devil himself, but nobody knew for sure. Then one day a young woman decided to take matters into her own hands. She went to the abandoned house and knocked on the door, but she wasn't scared at all. She knew that whatever was inside would most likely want to speak with her. To her surprise, the door opened without a sound. She stepped inside and was immediately met with a warm, inviting glow. As her eyes adjusted to the light, she began to notice strange things. Furniture was neatly arranged throughout the room, and books were stacked on shelves. The walls were adorned with paintings, and the fireplace was stocked with firewood. Everything was exactly how it should be in a normal house, but there was one thing that made no sense. None of this should have been possible. The house had been burnt to the ground years ago. So where did all this stuff come from? As she explored further, she came across a ladder leading to a second floor. She climbed the ladder and found an even bigger surprise. The entire top floor was filled with modern appliances, couches, tables, chairs, even a television set. It was like the house was fully furnished and ready to be lived in. And then she heard a voice behind her. "Well, hello there." Startled, she whirled around to find a man standing in the doorway. "Who are you?" she asked nervously. "I'm the caretaker," he replied with a smile. "And this is my house." So just like that, the mystery of the house that rebuilds itself was solved. Every night the caretaker would light a few candles and pretend that he was living in the house to keep it from being taken over by the darkness. And somehow, miraculously, everything would be restored to its original state every morning.